Hello and welcome. Within this video we're going to have a series of videos talking you through the Biology Paper 1 GCSE Combined Science from Tuesday the 15th of May. Okay, so this exam should take you 1 hour 10 minutes and it's the foundation tier that we're going to go through today. So scrolling down to the first question. Question 1. Question 1 is talking about pathogens. It's saying pathogens cause disease. Now pathogens are microorganisms, okay, and a specific type of microorganism that cause disease, so it gives you that information in the question. Now generally what happens is students fail to read this instruction which says draw one straight line from each type of pathogen to the disease that is caused by the pathogen. So you need a maximum of 2 lines, okay, so 2 answers. So fungus. Fungus is cholera ash dieback. Okay, let's try and draw that line again. The fungus is cholera ash dieback, and the virus causes AIDS, or a virus causes AIDS. The other key facts that you need to know is you need to know that malaria is caused by a protocyst. TB is caused by a bacteria. These are facts that you need to remember. And cholera is also caused by another bacteria. Okay. So moving down to the second phase of the question, again it's just a recall question. Antibiotics can be used to treat diseases. Okay, so there's the statement. So antibiotics can kill antibodies, antigens, bacteria or viruses. Okay, now the only correct answer to this is bacteria. Okay. What you should know is that antibodies, okay, are produced by white blood cells. Antigens are the little markers on pathogens. So for instance, if I just draw a quick example of a bacteria, the whole structure that I've drawn is the bacteria, and the antigens are the specific markers on the bacteria. So the antibodies that are produced by the white blood cells, the white blood cells may produce antibodies that look like this, and then what happens is the antibodies attach on to the antigens and disable the pathogen, preventing it from causing infection. And then the last response is viruses. Okay, so viruses, a common thing about viruses is that viruses are non-living. Okay, so viruses are non-living. So this is some of the information that you should know while you're answering this question. Now scrolling down to the next part of the question. Okay, so the next part of the question is interpreting this table. Okay, so let's look at it. It says figure 1. So this is figure 1 here. Okay, all this is figure 1. It shows the number of white blood cells in blood samples from 3 patients. So the key thing that comes out for me straight away is that patient Z has got a massive number of white blood cells compared to the other patients. Okay, that's what sticks out straight away for me. So the question, it says explain why. Right, so explain why the data suggests that patient Z has a bacterial infection. Now this is worth 2 marks. Now, as I said, the thing that sticks out for me is they've got a significantly higher number of white blood cells. So first part of my answer, I'm going to put that down because that's what I notice. Patient Z has a higher number of white blood cells. And then for my second mark, it's worth 2 marks. Okay, it says explain why. So why do they have a higher number of blood cells? Well, they have a bacterial infection. It states they have a bacterial infection, and I know that white blood cells kill bacteria. So what I've done is I've identified that patient Z has got a high concentration or a high number of white blood cells, and I know that white blood cells kill bacteria, and I've answered that question there quite satisfactorily. Okay. Then the last question for question 1, what we're after is, after reading the information, so it says HIV is diagnosed by blood tests. Take 2 safety precautions you could be taking when handling blood samples. So you need to imagine that you're a nurse or a doctor and you're handling some blood samples from somebody that could potentially have HIV. So the first thing that comes to mind is that you should wear gloves or goggles, okay, and then what we need to do is we need to make sure that after you've taken the samples, they are disposed of safely. Okay, you can't leave them lying around wherever you work for someone to pick up and potentially infect themselves. Okay, so state 2 safety precautions that need to be taken when handling blood samples. So if I'm a nurse or a doctor doing this, definitely need to be wearing gloves or wearing goggles to make sure that they can't get onto my skin or into my body through my eyes. And secondly, after I've taken the blood samples and they've been tested, I need to make sure they're disposed of safely and not just laying around. So that's the end of the first question, which was a total of 7 marks.